Hello, everybody, and welcome to Book It Vince, the Wrestling Dream Match podcast. Each week, we challenge ourselves to book pro wrestling matches that only we wish could happen in real life. I'm one of your hosts, Martin Bennett, and with me, as always, is the bad boy of comedy, Antony Hall.
Oh my gosh! What a moniker!
I decided that
boy.
each week I'm going to take another wrestler's moniker or thing, and I'm just going to introduce you as that. So this week you're the bad boy.
Wow, that's very nice.
You notice that both.
Flattered.
Just quick side. You notice that both Joey Janela and Kip Sabian are the bad boys.
Is Kip Sabian a bad boy too?
Yeah, he's super bad.
Super bad.
Super bad Kip Sabian, and then Joey Janela is the bad boy.
Yeah.
They're both bad.
Super bad. They're both bad boys. Bad lads.
Bad lads.
People you don't want to learn from. Low morals.
The two low. They should tag team together, honestly.
Super low moral guys. Super questionable moral dudes.
Of course, thank you for listening, and thank you. So far, people have been really liking the past couple episodes, and we're excited to continue forward. If you want to, remember that you can follow us online. You can follow me at Barden_Minute on Twitter and Instagram, and you can follow Mr. Antony Hall at
Hall and Jokes on Instagram and Twitter.
And of course, you can follow us as a whole at UE_films, basically everywhere. But yeah, I'm really excited for this episode. Before we get into that, I just really quickly want to talk about, if you're enjoying the podcast, please subscribe and follow it on all the different, wherever you get your podcasts from. It's on pretty much every major one right now. You can also check it out on YouTube, so you can come and watch our lovely, gorgeous faces for the video version of the podcast. And also check out all the other content that we have on there, including The Bracketeers, which is a great show that Antony and I both were in. If you want to get involved in the podcast as a viewer, we do take viewer questions at the end of every episode. So you can submit those on Twitter, on Instagram, on our community Discord, or also you can now easily submit them on our website. So you can go to UnknownErrorFilms.com/bookitvince and submit them there. Plus, you'll find direct links to wherever the podcast is available on all the different apps and on YouTube. So yeah, check it out. Link in the description to the website. Stick around till the end of the episode for a fun announcement about a brand new segment that we'll be doing here on the podcast. But that's all out of the way. Antony, are you ready for this week's dream match?
Challenge? The challenge? Of course.
All right.
Of course. Hit me.
So, I figured we did two legends with Sting and Undertaker.
Yes.
We did two tag teams or stables.
Yes.
Now we're going to do two women.
Oh my gosh.
So,
all right. Okay.
I want to see you book together the rivalry between Dr. Britt Baker,
okay.
DMD. Did you know she's a dentist?
Yeah, I think they mention it every week.
And she's going to go against Little Miss Bliss herself, Alexa Bliss.
Oh, gosh. Oh,
two female performers I think are amazing and are both great as faces and heels. But I want to see how we book them against each other. And my caveat is I want this rivalry to center around Money in the Bank.
Okay, so Britt Baker is in the WWE.
So I want it to center around the idea of one of them gets Money in the Bank. Either the other one is a champion and it's a rivalry that way, or they're in a rivalry because kind of like the Seth Rollins Dean Ambrose rivalry of like how Seth had the briefcase forever and he rivaled with Dean about getting the briefcase, the contract. So it could be something like that. But I want to send around Money in the Bank.
Okay. All right. So I think where this is going to take place is this is going to be during like Alexa Bliss's like reign of terror when she was champion for like super, super long.
Okay, so
let's see,
is
when
she
was this?
heel Bliss at this point?
Yeah, because I think the only time she became face Bliss is when like she started tagging with Nikki Cross.
Yeah, but essentially,
before that, because before that she was a heel. Okay, let me see what year that championship run is, and then I can start to build.
She was championship a bunch.
Yeah.
She was championship. What am I saying? She was champion.
She was championship.
So it can literally be whenever. It doesn't have to be a specific year.
Wow. 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, 3-time Raw Champion.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
And she has won Money in the Bank before.
That's right. Did she successfully cash it in?
Yes.
She did.
Yeah.
Who was it on again? Do you remember?
I believe she cashed it. She cashed it in either on Nia Jax or Ronda Rousey.
Let me see.
If I'm correct, I think it was one of the two. I think it was in that match.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think it was that Nia Jax gave Ronda Rousey a Samoan drop, and then she came down and quickly did Twisted Bliss onto one of them and won, and then immediately lost it like weeks later to Ronda Rousey.
As is tradition, of course.
So, but yeah, okay. So let's so you're going to go with heel Bliss, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think I do want. Yeah, I think I want heel Bliss.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just say...
Because Britt Baker is doing pretty good work right now as heel Britt Baker.
I know, but it's like who's like better, right? Like the thing is like I just don't know how compelling a face Bliss run against Britt Baker would be.
Right.
It's like this is such a hard one because it's like I think both of these superstars, both of these wrestlers, do their best work when they're heel, but like I almost don't want them both to be heel in this feud because then that would make things sort of annoying. Okay, let's see.
Even a good middle ground. Like I really do enjoy when wrestlers find a good way to be a gray area of like heel and face. Like I still like the thing is, yes, Alexa Bliss right now is face because of teaming with Nikki Cross and everything like that. There are still moments that when I see her, I'm just like, you're still kind of heel. Like you still have that little bit of, you know, selfishness or like just sass that comes across from being a heel for so long. But so how about let me get you started?
Okay. I just wanted to like pull up all of the pay-per-views from 1 year and try to lend some stuff in there.
So, okay. Who do you want to have the briefcase?
I think Britt Baker gets the briefcase.
Britt Baker gets the briefcase.
Yeah.
So then, all right. Who else is in this Money in the Bank match then?
That's a great question. So I think at this point in time, we set up that Alexa Bliss has the title, and then she's probably versing somebody like, I don't know, Asuka or some shit at like, at the in the bank match.
Right. Yeah.
But we like. I think the best way to like insert Britt Baker into this is like the hottest free agent angle, where it's like where there's like, so how many people are in a Money in the Bank match? Like six. Okay, so you have 5 superstars in there, and let's say that like this like the brand split thing has happened already, so you can challenge for whatever title. So there should be, I think there should be 3 superstars from Raw and like 2 from SmackDown, and then like, oh, actually, let's go. We should go 2 from Raw, 2 from SmackDown, 1 from NXT, and then one mystery person who you assume will probably be like a surprise NXT hot free agent signing. So let's assume, like, I think at this time Adam Cole is probably in NXT now, so you could be like, you could use that angle of like Britt Baker being shown on TV, being like, oh yeah, like, this is Adam Cole's girlfriend. It's like, okay,
this is Adam Cole's girlfriend.
But then you find out she's a wrestler as well. It's like, oh, but she's also one of the hottest free agents. It's like one of those things where like NXT used to just like, I think they still do, but like they would show like their most recent signing.
They did it all the time when they had crowds and it was live events and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
They did it for Keith Lee. They did it for Matt Riddle. They did it
for Matt Riddle. Yeah.
Yeah. They did it for Walter.
For Kushida. Yeah. So like, okay, let's say like, I'm kind of like basing this like vaguely around the pay-per-views of 2017. I don't know if like all the timelines line up or anything like that, but just for the sake of structure, let's say at like NXT TakeOver Chicago, Adam Cole has a big match, and then it kind of like it cuts to like hottest free agent Britt Baker, and we don't know if she's gonna be signed, and you just kind of like see her briefly, and the internet is talking about it, and then like at Money in the Bank, you're like, oh, okay, I wonder who's gonna be in this match. Like, let's say like let's
each throw out some people. I would say a great.
Like, we gotta go like Sasha, Bailey are probably in this match.
Yeah, probably. That'd be good. And then I would honestly, from NXT, sure we're using the structure of like a certain year just for what would come after that, but I think someone like Dakota Kai or Tegan Knox would be great to have in a Money in the Bank match as an NXT representative.
Yeah, but I think at this time, who was super sick, who we haven't seen for a really long time due to injuries? Ember Moon.
Yeah, that's true. But she's on the main roster now.
But was she on the main roster then?
Well, okay, if you want to make it in a specific year, then we need to look at who was there. I'm just saying it doesn't matter what year or anything like that. Just who would be good to have.
That's true. Okay. So let's say like,
and she was in a Money in the Bank match, and she was really good. I think that's probably also part of why she got injured.
Right. Okay. Well, I like this idea of involving like somebody who is currently in NXT.
Bailey, Sasha.
I think having Tegan Knox in it to represent NXT would be really good, because she's like a white meat baby face as well. Mm-hmm. But we should like make, because like time really doesn't matter in our world of fantasy booking. We should make Bailey and Sasha like their heels. Like they are their current iteration of character.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So they're like obviously going to be in like cahoots and like working together. Yeah,
they work together, but then they turn on each other. But then the whole thing.
You're gonna have Tegan Knox like represent NXT, because she's just, let's say like her injury like doesn't happen, and she's like a rising star at that point in time in NXT. I'm unclear of who was in SmackDown at that point, but I mean, for the sake of having like another beefy match, Becky Lynch should probably be in this match. If she's not wrestling Charlotte for like the other title.
if she's not wrestling Charlotte ever
again. Actually, you know what? Like, let's keep this wild, and let's say that like Alexa Bliss is wrestling Asuka for the Raw title on the show, and Becky Lynch and Charlotte are wrestling for the SmackDown title. So now we have so we have to kind of like dig deeper into our roster and
I think it's a thing in these matches where you want like great spots, you want big names. It is also to highlight people that are underutilized, but then also have good hands who can help do spots.
You're right.
For the bigger people. But I think like Sasha and Bayley is good. I think Tegan Nox is good, so that's 3.
Yeah,
I mean,
we need 3.
If Ember Moon could compete, I would always want Ember Moon to compete because she's always incredible.
Let's put her in. Like we should give Ember Moon a shot and assume that if she won, she would challenge for the SmackDown. Actually, let's say like Bayley and Sasha are on SmackDown at this point in time.
Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't matter.
If we look at the brand split, like this time around, like
especially now,
like literally nothing matters. Like there's no rules. Like
no,
it's like it's a wild card rule. Like,
no,
and also a superstar can appear on any brand at any time. It's like whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think then another person that would be really good. I was actually thinking about this before because I was trying to think of at the time that we're recording this, they're going to be doing the #1 contendership for Bayley's SmackDown Women's title. And I was trying to think who it would be because they're doing people from Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I'm like, who the hell could it be? I guess I would say throw Bianca Belair in there.
Oh, yeah, that would be interesting.
Sasha, Bayley, Ember Moon, Bianca Belair, Tegan Nox.
I'm like trying to think of like the balance of like the heel and face people in this Money in the Bank because this kind of like sets off our feud. So
yeah, well, in Money in the Bank, it's always been a good mix, but at the same time, it's like the good thing about like heels are always like they just want to win completely for themselves. Faces are always good about, especially in these multi-person matches, about like they'll team up against the heels, so it would be this whole thing of like the 4 other women like team up against Sasha and Bayley.
I think I know. Okay, so I mean, this will probably,
but then they also want to show each other up. This
will be an unpopular choice, but I think it's vital for this Money in the Bank to have this person.
Okay.
I think it's gonna have to be Nia Jax.
Oh, okay.
Just because, like, to have like a monster in this match is important, and Nia Jax, like, though she has been unsafe in the past, in our world she's a great wrestler. So
in our world she's
perfect.
In our world she's one of the best wrestlers ever. She's never injured someone.
She's never injured anyone. I'll give her the full benefit of the doubt here and say like she's rocking it, and
that's funny.
And like at the time, like she's being pushed, right? So so we have this. Okay, this is a juicy Money in the Bank women's match.
So
right
it's
here.
Bayley, Sasha,
Ember Moon, Nia Jax,
Tegan Nox, and then
surprise
entrance.
Hottest free agent shown at NXT TakeOver a couple months ago, Dr. Britt Baker.
You know she's a dentist, right?
Dr. Britt Baker, DDS.
DMD.
DDS DMD. And she enters as the last person in the Money in the Bank match, and you're like, oh my goodness, what will happen if she wins? What is she gonna challenge? She's a free agent.
Yeah,
right?
And I think it would be interesting in that kind of a match where it would create this interesting dynamic of like all of the like WWE like people see this new person and immediately turn on her, but then she like bows through it all, and obviously then you have you have moments of like the faces versus the heels, like everybody ganging up on Sasha and Bayley, everyone ganging up on Nia, trying to overpower her.
Yeah, so I think the way like the match gets booked is like There's going to be like a lot of awesome high spots. Like I think Ember Moon is going to like hit an eclipse on Nia Jax like onto a ladder.
Yeah.
Like,
or from a ladder.
And you're going to have, I think if we're going with this iteration of Bayley and Sasha's characters, they're going to be like super close. They're both going to be climbing the ladder at the same time.
Yeah.
And then like they kind of have this split second where they're like, oh, do you take it or do I take it?
Yeah.
Let's say like, because they're not champions right now, right? Because let's say like in our world, like Charlotte is the champion and Alexa Bliss is the champion on the other side. So they're like, oh, do I take it? Do you take it? And in that like second of hesitation, Nia Jax like pushes the ladder over. Like that's like one of those classic Money in the Bank spots.
Some great spots too would be just to name them. Bayley to belly slams someone onto a ladder.
Yep.
Or from a ladder onto a ladder. Bayley helps Sasha do a backstabber onto someone off of a ladder. It's like they're climbing up and then Bayley like holds her there while then Sasha runs up and like backstabs from like mid top of the ladder. That would be such a great spot.
Yeah, that would be a pretty crazy spot.
What else? Oh, Tegan Nox choke slams someone
off of the ladder. Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
And then yeah.
I don't think Britt has any like crazy.
She's not a power
moves.
Her whole thing is submission.
Yeah.
What is it called again? I always forget what it's called. It's not a mandible claw. Is
it called like the lockjaw or something?
Lockjaw, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's great. Like I think really like you're right where it's like everybody is like battling with each other and then they like gang up on Britt Baker because she's like the new toy of NXT and she's not really in it. She's the new toy of the promotion because we don't know where she is. I think we should really lean into like the hottest free agent part of this because it kind of helps us build our feud a little bit because we don't know what Britt Baker is going to challenge for because she will win this Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And I think the way she wins is very like underdog, like people have been taking her out and it looks like Nia Jax is gonna like climb the ladder and she's about to win and then you see like Britt Baker like emerge from the ground and be like and like run towards the ladder and like with all her might pushes.
You know what would be a really good ending spot is just this devastating moment of like I don't know how safe it would be, but in our world you can have just whatever, right?
Yeah.
Would be this moment of sorry if you can hear stuff outside. Would be this moment of like they wedge like a ladder in the corner.
Yeah.
And Nia Jax is climbing and then Britt comes up and tries to power bomb her like into the ladder in the corner.
Oh, into the pile of ladders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then climbs desperately as possible.
Okay, I think the perfect like white meat babyface spot would be this. Like, yeah, so Nia Jax is climbing the ladder, and then Britt like tries to power bomb Nia Jax, but obviously isn't strong enough.
Right.
So Tegan Nox helps Britt, and they power bomb Nia and take her out.
Okay.
And let's say like Sasha and Bayley are incapacitated from
being pushed from the top.
Oh yeah. So all of the So all of those things happen in sequence. Like Sasha and Bayley get pushed off the top. Then Nia fixes the ladder. She's trying to climb it, and then Britt tries to go for that power bomb, and Tegan Nox comes in, assists Britt. Power bomb into the corner pile of ladders, and then it's just Britt and Tegan, and they're climbing. They're furiously climbing up the ladder, and they're right at the top. And you're like, "Who's gonna get it?"
And they're exchanging hits.
Yeah, is this babyface from NXT, or is it this like the hottest free agent?
And it just says, "Oh."
Yeah. And I think like Britt Baker should. I don't know if it's too heel if she just like punches her right in the mouth because she's a dentist.
Oh, she does have a good punch too.
I think yeah. So they get to the top and then Britt Baker just like does something just a little bit shifty and just just punches like Tegan Nox in the mouth and Tegan Nox like just falls off the ladder. Britt Baker grabs the Money in the Bank briefcase and she wins.
Oh, kind of like that spot that Dijakovic took. Remember that ladder match where he got, I forget who punched him. Someone hit him and he just did this like free fall.
Yeah, exactly.
My God.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, you're like, oh man, Britt Baker has the Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah,
and people are like, why? Well, she just got signed. This is crazy. Why are they doing this? The internet wrestling community is crazy. They're like, well, as if she's so green, and then it's like, no, they're building up this character, but I think it's like Britt Baker kind of lives in this. She has to sort of live in the tweener area because a pure face Britt Baker, I don't think would be as compelling as like one that like is outwardly a face, but like really wants to win. So like has this urge to do like shifty things, which is why she just like closed fist punches Tegan Nox in the mouth at the top of the ladder.
I think it'd also be a thing of like with the hottest free agent sort of shtick is then you have this battle of then when she does get involved with Alexa Bliss, this thing of Alexa Bliss being within the system. It's kind of like the Randy Orton versus AJ Styles feud from WrestleMania a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Where it was, you've been brought up in this system because Alexa Bliss literally was brought up in the system because she wasn't a wrestler before. And then you have Britt Baker who's been all over the world and does more than just wrestling. And you can have this sort of dynamic of like, oh, you're new, you don't know anything. And it's like, actually, I've gone and done it all.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's kind of what is going to set off our feud. So Alexa Bliss is the Raw champion. So the Raw after Money in the Bank, that Alexa Bliss has a Moment of Bliss talk show.
Ooh, okay.
And she's like,
I love horrible talk shows. I love horrible WWE talk shows.
Everybody, I'm so excited after my incredible defense at Money in the Bank against Asuka.
She cheated somehow. It's fine.
Yeah, it's like, she won by some sort of shenanigans, but that's okay. And Alexa Bliss is like, for my special guest on Moment of Bliss is going to be the newest signing to the WWE. We don't know what brand she wrestles for, but what we do know is she is the winner of the Money in the Bank. Dr. Britt Baker. And Britt Baker comes out and like is waving, has a briefcase, and then they start talking to each other, and then she's like, wow, I'm so happy that you won this. And it's like,
it's amazing that it's in some sort of offhanded comment of like, it's amazing that you won this given that you're so new and you have no experience whatsoever. And then Britt can be like, actually, I've wrestled in Japan, I've wrestled in here and over here, and I've won these championships. So
and then Alexa Bliss is like, well, it's like I came up from here, like I was built here, and now I'm a champion. I'm a multi-time champion.
Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah. And then, what do you do? And then she's like,
what do you even do? I'm a dentist.
Like, I'm a dentist. She says, she's like, what do you even do? And she's like, I'm a dentist. And she hits Alexa Bliss with the briefcase.
Well, I think the first attack shouldn't be the face attack. I think
you're right.
It should definitely be a heel attack where she's like, well, what do you even do? And she's like, I'm a dentist. And then it's like, I think it's this a short promo of like, it's a thing of like, what do you even do? Like, where are you? What do you even do? I'm a dentist. What do you even do? And it's this thing of like, you just sat on your high horse for so many years. You give nothing back to, like, it's one of those, like, it's kind of like if you took Daniel Bryan's like Earth savior gimmick, but made it good in terms of like a good guy gimmick, where it's like, I help people. I actually do a service and help people. What do? You were a fitness person.
Yeah.
Is that sort of
it's like what? Yeah, what do you do? Yeah, it's like, what do you do? You hurt your friends and you cheat to win, and like Britt Baker is like slowly like getting on her high horse, and then this is when Alexa Bliss has that punch finisher.
Takes her coffee and splashes it in Britt Baker's face.
Yeah, and then like Britt Baker is sort of like dazed and like goes to like try to attack Alexa Bliss, and at this time, of course, Alexa Bliss has her punch finisher with her like yeah.
I was thinking she just grabbed the briefcase and hit Britt with it.
That's good too. Yeah. Okay. So dumps the coffee. Oh yeah, because like it's like this is like the defining thing for Britt right now is that she has the briefcase. So dumps the coffee and just like hits her in the face with the briefcase, and then like let's like make Alexa Bliss even more savage here. Like she'll just like pick her up briefly and just like hit her with like a DDT onto the briefcase as well. That's just
something like that.
Let's really beat Britt Baker up here.
Yeah.
Just so
that's what always happens is like you get your face. It's their first time showing up. You beat the tar out of them so that people feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Or the people go, oh, they're a horrible person. I want to see Britt get her revenge. I just thought of this. The best way that Britt announces that she's going to challenge, or like she's probably going to challenge Alexa Bliss for the because this is the thing that I actually really like the runs of Money in the Bank where it's like it's very clear who someone is like going to go after, but they make it a story. Like, yes, the surprise captions are always amazing, but I love when someone gets the briefcase and they get to hold it for a while, you know, and they get to do something with it. Yeah.
So I think
the best way, this is just me being like really dumb and bantery, is say we go a month or so, right? And we can decide what happens in this month. Right. Say then Alexa Bliss has a match, and say it's at a pay-per-view or something, I don't know. And maybe it's a rematch with Asuka, maybe it's someone else, whatever. Maybe it's like someone comes in and helps Britt and they become friends. Like maybe it's like, it could be like Tegan Nox, or it could be Ember Moon or someone like that. Comes in and helps her, and that becomes kind of a rivalry of like them against Bliss or something, and then Bliss goes up against whoever helps her, say it's Ember Moon, and they have a match at the next pay-per-view. At the end of that match, Bliss wins, right? She retains. And then on the screen, it has this video package of like a waiting room. And it just has a door, and you hear the sounds of like an office, you know. And then it just shows a door, and on the door it says Dr. Britt Baker, and then it opens, and it's Britt Baker and goes, Alexa Bliss, the doctor would like to see you, and holds up the Money in the Bank briefcase. And it's like she's challenging her. It's clear that she's going after her.
Should it be? This is the part where I'm like, I don't know what I would like to do. Is like, should it be a clear? Like this, like I am challenging you and we're going to have a proper match? Or should it be like a rush cash in where like she comes in, like that video package airs and you see like, it's like Dr. Britt Baker. It's like, let's say it's like a secretary. It's like Alexa Bliss. Dr. Britt Baker would like to see you now. And the door like opens and you see like the briefcase, just the briefcase.
Oh, I like that.
And then Dr. Britt Baker rushes in and cashes it in. Like in that moment, like I think that would be really cool. But also I do like the whole build of them like actually like fighting at a pay-per-view.
I like build I think I think it could be even that it's like just a sign. It's not an official cash in, and then it could lead to a Rush one. The funny thing about Rush cash ins has always been like it's a heel and they do their heel thing of, oh, it's surprise out of nowhere, or it's like a face getting turned on, like when Daniel Bryan lost his to Randy Orton, whereas like Triple H turned on him and it was like, cash it in right now, you automatically win because I pedigreed his ass. It's funny even because Seth, when he cashed in, he was a heel for that entire year.
Right.
The entire time he had it, and then when he cashed in, everybody was like, yeah, because it was Seth's first world championship. So then everybody was like, yay, Seth, you won. Even though he was a heel that whole time.
Okay, so then if Britt is like a tweener here, but like leaning more heavier towards face, I think like after the Raw segment with Alexa Bliss, where Alexa Bliss like beats her up, she is the hottest free agent still, so she's gonna go to all of the brands, to all the shows, and like
that's
so
good.
we can like introduce her and stuff. So like let's say like
she's got to go up against Bailey and Sasha. Yeah,
let's say like Becky Lynch has like beats Charlotte at Money in the Bank, so she's also the new champion, and she's like I had a momentous achievement at Money in the Bank, but there's somebody else who's new to this company that I want to celebrate today because
it'd be a good face v face like competition of just great wrestling.
Yeah, so then she's like, I'd love to wrestle one of the hottest new free agents. Let's just like give this match away on TV. Like, so Britt Baker shows up and Becky's like, I actually want to like give you a proper welcome, not like the champion on the other brand.
Yeah. Not like Alexa Bliss over there.
Yeah, yes. To just like,
I want to see what you got. And it's like a real like, all right, let's do this. Like,
yeah, to plant some like seeds there and sort of build Becky up to be like a face champion, so that when Survivor Series comes around and everybody fights each other, that there's a little bit of like something there.
Yeah, and it could be even a thing of like Becky does win, she beats Britt, but it's not like it's like a close finish. It could be like a roll up or something like that. It could be a thing where it's like it's not like a clean pin or anything like that, or a tap out. It could just be like surprise roll up. Oh, 1, 2, 3, and then it's this thing of like they shake hands at the end, and Becky Lynch says, you know, you did good, and you're nothing. You're a person not to mess with. And Britt's like, oh, don't worry, the next time that we meet won't go this way.
Yeah.
Is she going to?
Yeah, something like that. Or she's like, I think it shouldn't be a rub. I think like Britt should get outclassed here because Becky Lynch is the champion. And like, though we don't want to make Britt look weak, I think Britt maybe like is trying to get into the lockjaw, and Becky Lynch transitions to the disarmer and like and taps her, and she's like, it
could be, and it can even be a thing of like Britt's like really not trying to tap at all, tries to climb as close to the rope, but then Becky like pulls her back right into the middle, and you're like, if she doesn't tap, she's gonna break her arm.
So it's like she's clearly just like outclassed by the champion, which makes sense because Becky Lynch is a champion of the brand and Britt Baker is new, so it's like, okay, we get it. But like, I think Britt gets enough offense in and gets to the point where like, she was about to get her finishing submission onto Becky, so like she's a threat, she's a legitimate threat. And then she goes to NXT, and like you think like that's probably where her home is going to be because she's been signed there, so she feuds with the champion, whomever that champion at the time would be.
Let's say it's like either like Io Shirai or even like Rhea Ripley would be good, because they would definitely have a good match. I think then for one of her like first ever as a new person pay-per-view matches, I think it'd be really interesting to see her against, because out of Money in the Bank all the time, what happens is feuds come in where it's like the people who feel they got robbed. So it would be a perfect case to set up like Sasha or Bailey or both of them being like, you don't deserve this, blah, blah, blah. And then they go in a match and she beats them both.
Yeah.
And what would be amazing is, honestly, I think the best face moment for Britt Baker would be going up against Sasha Banks. And it looks like she's going to put the Banks statement on, like her submission move. Because it's essentially a crossface.
Right.
But then Britt transitions it into the lockjaw. And just to show I can one up you, like and it kind of reflects with Becky where it's like, no, I'm not, this kind of thing isn't going to happen again. I figured it out. I'm like, she's rolling along of like, boom, gotcha, boom, gotcha.
Yeah.
Showing,
yeah.
And it's, and the whole time, you would go back to Raw and you would have Alexa Bliss, maybe someone interviews her and it's like, are you worried about Britt Baker? She's been doing really well the past couple weeks of, she took on Becky Lynch, she took on Sasha Banks, she took on Bailey. She's rolling through the division. And then the whole time Alexa Bliss is like, just keeps going on this whole thing of like, she's just getting lucky. She's new. She's beating those 1-time, 2-time champs, whatever. She's never going to beat a 5-time champ like me or whatever,
Yeah.
I've done and see it all.
Like,
until she does it and sees it all, I'm not worried about her.
Yeah, and I think that Alexa Bliss will constantly be like, does she even really care? Because she's a dentist, so why doesn't she just be a dentist? Like,
yeah,
she's trying to be a wrestler. Like, pick one or the other, and like that's something that I think will start to like push Britt Baker because we still don't know who she's going to challenge, and it's like, and like yeah, she goes on the tour like you said of like wrestling all the people that felt like they should have won the Money in the Bank, but and besting them. Yeah, like she's gonna beat like Sasha and Bailey. I think she has like a mini feud in NXT with Tegan Nox because it's like Tegan Nox.
She was so close.
Yeah, Tegan Nox felt like she was so close, but she got punched in the mouth.
I think then.
Yeah.
I think then what could help culminate this rivalry is you got to have an explosive moment, and maybe it's literally the day before or the week before, like the go home show before a pay-per-view, and say it's like I don't know, would be a good one, SummerSlam or something like that. SummerSlam's in my mind because it's right now of recording this, SummerSlam's really close. And say it's like the go home show.
Right.
And the past couple weeks they've been exchanging words, and Britt shows up on Raw and she has a match or she cuts a promo or something. Bliss interrupts her. They did that whole video package of her scaring her with the whole like, the doctor will see you now, making her think, oh, is she gonna cash in on Alexa Bliss? And then they have a confrontation on Raw. And it just turns into one of those like explosive like brawl moments, where you could even have Bliss like attack her, and then they get pulled apart, and you see that the amazing photo of when Britt got her teeth broken and her mouth was all bloody. Mm-hmm. And you have one of those moments where like she socks her or hits her with something, and like it looks like she's like something's happened with her mouth, and they brawl to the back. They have this whole like episode. Other people get involved, try to pull them apart, and it just turns into this huge thing. And then finally ends with Britt being like, Alexa, that's it. I will see you at SummerSlam. It's like, it's official. Britt's cashing in on Alexa Bliss this Sunday at SummerSlam. You know, something like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that. So I'm looking at like the list of pay-per-views here. So Money in the Bank happens, then it's this in that year it's Great Balls of Fire.
Oh Lord, Great Balls of Fire.
So I think I think like at Great Balls of Fire we should set up like it's just like this grudge match, like it's Sasha and Bailey versus Britt, and let's say like Britt makes a friend.
Yeah.
In her like tour of the brands, she makes a friend, or she like encounters somebody from the indies that she has worked with, and then they kind of like align briefly. Let's say it's like, let's say, well, Dakota Kai is still a face at this point. Let's say, just in our universe, she's faced Dakota Kai.
Sure.
So even though Tegan got punched in the mouth and lost, Dakota Kai is just like happy that Britt Baker's there, and Britt Baker and Dakota Kai face Sasha and Bailey in like just like a tag match. At Great Balls of Fire, just because it's kind of that like the bully mentality where it's like, you don't deserve this, you're new. Blah. Like I was like, we're Sasha and Bailey. And
we're Sasha and Bailey.
So then I think Britt and Dakota get the win, and then it's a SmackDown branded pay-per-view Battleground.
Oh man, that year sucked.
Yeah, it was not ideal.
Let's just switch it to Backlash. Let's just switch it to Armageddon. Let's get the good.
So I think at Battleground, we start to, people are really starting to wonder if Britt is going to cash in maybe on Becky Lynch because of that match that they had when Britt first visited SmackDown, and let's say Becky is wrestling. I mean, I can't see Battleground being a big marquee matchup, so it's like probably like Becky versus like Natalya or something.
Yeah, and it would be good to have moments throughout this of like Britt, because again, with if we're pushing her as a babyface, like say it's like Alexa is facing someone, and she beats them obviously. But then she starts like attacking them afterwards and stuff. Then you have Britt come out and save them, or Britt come out and help. Way and fight them off. Like it's a slow build of just stuff happening here and there, all leading up to what eventually will explode and become the fight.
I think we play with that video package because right now the way it kind of works is like Great Balls of Fire is like the Raw pay-per-view. Battleground is a SmackDown pay-per-view. Then we have a TakeOver and then SummerSlam.
Oh yeah.
So we could have after Great Balls of Fire, let's say Alexa Bliss is challenging somebody for the title at that point in time too. Let's say like Ember Moon somehow like works her way up to a shot at Great Balls of Fire with Alexa Bliss. And after the match ends, you see the first tease of the waiting room. Like all you see is the waiting room.
Yeah.
You just see like the waiting room, and it's like, where is this place? And then it goes away. And then at Battleground, you see like Becky beats Natalya or something, and then you see the quick vignette of the waiting room again. But this time you see a little bit more of it. And you see like an office door. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh, what is that? Then at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3, the champ at that time, whomever it may be, let's say it's like Io Shirai. Io Shirai wins, and then you see the vignette one more time, and it's the waiting room. But this time, it's a dent. You can see like somebody walking around in scrubs, and you're like, oh, okay.
Or you see it's you see Britt Baker's name on the door.
Yeah, you see you zoom in and you see Britt Baker, DMD, DVS, DVP.
DVD.
yeah, DVD. And okay, so then all three champs are kind of like, who, like, what's gonna happen? Is she just gonna like sneak up on me at SummerSlam, or any of my shows before SummerSlam?
And then it would also be good to have like a interview with Britt, like a sit down interview or something like that with like Charlie or Charlie Caruso or Kayla Braxton, or why am I forgetting? Renee Young. Jeez. And it's like sit down interview with them, and then just asking about their career, what they want to do in WWE, where they plan to go, and then in there it's like, who would you want to face? And she kind of goes through each person, and like it's kind of like would you cash in on Becky Lynch because you were really close to being her, but she ended up being you, and would you want to get show that you belong here and all this stuff? Well, maybe she's a great competitor, blah blah. What about Io Shirai in NXT? Oh, she's a great competitor. Used to face her on the Indies before. I think she's fierce.
It's
blah.
like she's fought all over the world.
And then it's like, what about Alexa Bliss? And she's kind of like, Alexa Bliss. Well,
I think like if that's a thing that we're gonna do, I think she goes like, I think it's like a live like taped thing like on an episode of Raw. So she's like, well, Alexa Bliss.
Oh,
and then Alexa Bliss like comes in and like
exactly
and comes in and just like starts beating up Britt Baker.
That would be a great
That would be a
great catalyst.
Yeah,
so like then it's like it's the end of the episode, and Britt Baker's been knocked out, and it's like, what's happened? And then the next week they're like, injury update on Britt Baker, and like rush to local medical facility, and then she doesn't show up the whole episode until the very end.
Yeah, until the very end, when like maybe Alexa Bliss is like in some sort of match,
and it's like looks like maybe it's like someone is in a match where it's like, if you win tonight against Alexa Bliss, you'll become the number one contender for SummerSlam. And Alexa Bliss wins, and then at the end she cuts a promo where it's like, looks like I'm not going to be facing anyone at SummerSlam.
Exactly. The video, the final
bit of the vignette plays.
Yes. So we see the whole waiting room. We see the zoom in. The door opens, and the money in the bank briefcase is like sitting on that like weird like sort of
on the chair,
like a dentist chair. Yeah.
And you hear Alexa Bliss, the doctor would like to see you now.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to Bliss, and she's just fuming, and then out of nowhere, bam, just attacks her as a brawl.
Britt Baker comes in, they brawl. All the security comes, and Britt gets Alexa punches Britt in the face, so you get that like bloody picture.
And then and then she either screams it or grabs a microphone when they finally have been broken up, and she's like, Alexa Bliss, I'll see you this Sunday at SummerSlam
in Brooklyn, New York.
And then it's just like, is she cashing in? Is this official?
And it is. Mamma mia.
Mamma mia.
She cashes in. So at SummerSlam,
we gotta wrap this up now.
we get Alexa Bliss versus Britt Baker, DMD, DDS, DVP, DVD,
Blu-ray.
VIP, Blu-ray, and it's we'll give her. It's gonna be a classic match here, and I think Britt brings the best out of Alexa. Alexa brings the best out of Britt, and the final spot I think is like, Alexa has like Britt Baker beat, let's say almost beat. Like she's going up for the Twisted Bliss, and she is in the air, and then Britt Baker knees up, boom,
catches her.
Cat gets her, and then like Alexa Bliss is like on the ground because she just got kneesed up from the Twisted Bliss, and Britt Baker gets in there, lockjaw,
yep,
boom, wins the Raw title, the quickest rise of the hottest free agent. But at that point, after she wins, she raises up the Raw title and she says, "Britt Baker, DDS." DMD, DVP, DVD is Raw. The doctor will see you now. And then that's it. That's like her, yeah. That's her big crowning moment. That's
great.
She wins there. And then we start, I think at that point she becomes so attached to the Raw title because she worked so hard for it. She starts to do like heel stuff.
Okay.
Slow heel things to keep her title. And that's when we will eventually turn Britt Baker to
the role model.
The role model, yeah.
True role model.
The true role model. Because I think she gets such a big ego, and like since she had to fight so many people and had her tour and kind of like put her money literally where her mouth is, and like and wins against Alexa Bliss, who was discounting her, that she is just like, I am the best, like look what I can do, I've been all over the world wrestling, I'm a dentist, I am the role model. Yeah, I came in here and I changed this division, I'm the role model. And that will kind of help prop another feud up later for Britt Baker DDS when she, or DMD, or whatever, DDS, DVD, Blu-ray, where she will eventually drop the title to a face champion. But that is for another day.
There we go. I love it. Yeah. Book it, Vince.
Book it, Vince.
Or book it, Tony. Which Tony Khan, Vince McMahon, get together and create an amazing women's feud. That's great. I love it.
AEWWE.
AEW. That's great. Alrighty. Well, there you go. Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Alexa Bliss. Let us know how you would have booked their rivalry, what changes you have made, who you think would have won, who you think should win, and anything else like that. And you can let us know on social media or in the comments of the podcast or the video. Okay, now we're on to viewer questions. And remember that you can submit your questions either on any of our social media platforms, like Twitter or on Instagram, or even going to our brand new website, UnknownErrorFilms.com/bookitvince. We got two questions here today. One comes from one of our community members, Roncho. And his question comes with a little bit of a story, which I'll try to summarize really quickly here. So do you remember the Kane versus Snitsky feud that came from the whole storyline about Kane and Lita having a baby, getting married, and then Snitsky causing to hit Kane, Kane fell on Lita, and then the baby wasn't born?
Yes. Okay,
so that whole feud, that whole crazy, ridiculous feud, only can come from the mind of Vince McMahon. That culminated in a Taboo Tuesday feud or match. And if you don't remember, Taboo Tuesday was a pay-per-view event that WWE had where fans could vote, would be able to vote online for stipulations or for opponents or stuff like that. They ended up doing a match where it was a choose a weapon match, and the weapons were lead pipe, steel chair, or a chain. Okay. Rancho wants to know, what other weapon would we have chosen?
Yes.
I immediately want to go to probably the funniest, weirdest weapon that you can have, which is a trash can. Mm-hmm. I love trash cans in hardcore wrestling because they're great. They're great comedy bits. They look painful, but just imagine a whole match of Kane versus Snitsky of just them putting trash cans over each other, hitting with trash cans, throwing them into like a pile of trash cans, and then finally like Kane choke slamming Snitsky into a trash can. I think that would be a great choice.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'm so obsessed with trying to make this match like good. So I think it should be. I think the weapon should be fire. It should be an Inferno match.
Okay.
The ring should be on fire, and it should be Kane versus Snitsky. And the winner of the match, the stipulation is that you have to light the other person on fire and then put them out with a fire extinguisher. So it's like an Inferno plus match. Because
Man,
Kane is like confronting his personal demons about not being able to be a father.
What a
he
ridiculous
wants to burn Snitsky alive.
What a ridiculous story.
Yes, it's the dumbest.
Early 2000s wrestling.
All
right. The second question we have for today comes from our community member over on our Discord server. Unseptium asks, what is your favorite surprise appearance of a wrestler?
My favorite surprise appearance of a wrestler.
I think recently, honestly, it was when after WWE made all their firings because of the global pandemic, they fired a lot of people and it became public, and a lot of them have gone to different promotions and stuff. But then, like, randomly, a couple of weeks later, Heath Slater comes back to Raw and confronts Drew McIntyre. I remember watching that episode, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, it's probably going to be Jinder Mahal because he's been gone for a little while, and this is going to be his return because they're going to bring up 3MB and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then Heath comes out. I'm on my feet, and I'm just like, Heath Slater, he got fired. What the hell? And he's wearing his T-shirt that says free agent. I'm like, I'm impressed that they managed to bring him back for this one last thing. And it was clear that it was like a one-off, like, this is goodbye, Drew being his friend, like all that stuff. But I was shocked by him coming back.
I think, for me, let's see. What is one that's crazy? One where I was just like, what? I mean, I think Chris Jericho being in New Japan his recent New Japan run was like, that was crazy for me, where I was like, what the hell?
Is that where he came out and he attacked? Like out of nowhere?
Yeah.
Yeah. He attacked
I think it was Naito he attacked.
Yeah. I think it was Naito.
That was pretty crazy. And I'm just trying to think if surprise wrestling appearance. Well, when the Hardys, when the Hardy Boys came back at WrestleMania, that I popped like crazy for that. I think that is probably one of my favorite.
Fun fact,
moments.
That is WWE's most viewed clip on their YouTube channel.
Really?
Is the Hardys returning at WrestleMania for the ladder match.
It was so awesome. I remember watching it, and I was like at a watch party with some of my friends, and I was like, oh, great. The New Day, who have been hosting all night, are going to insert themselves into this match. And it's like, okay, fine, whatever. I like the New Day, but sure. Like, if that's what they're going to do, that's what they're going to do. But when they came out and then they're like, oh, boo. And then the Hardy Boys music started playing. I was just like, goddamn.
Won.
Yeah, and they won. Yeah, when the Hardys came back, that's got to be my favorite surprise appearance. It is obviously a recency bias because it's something that I remember from the last couple of years, but like it was so awesome.
Yeah, that was a great moment. So like we said at the beginning of the podcast, we have a announcement for a new segment that we are wanting to do here on the podcast, which is, instead of just encouraging people to say like review or rate the podcast on different services, I think it'd be fun to turn it into some sort of a fun little segment. So instead of just reviewing the podcast, say on like iTunes or wherever, instead of just giving a review, we want people to give a review as if they were cutting a promo, as if they were cutting like a promo against someone or for something, like they're in the ring, cutting a promo about the podcast. So we'd love if people did that, and then we will use that. We'll bring it to the podcast and we'll read them. We'll read one a week on the podcast. So, just have fun doing it. Just make it as either crazy or weird as you want, because those podcast reviews are hilarious sometimes. And I think it'd be a fun thing to highlight some people's skill at writing some fantastic promos.
I agree. I'm looking forward to it. Please write your promo reviews for us so we can do our worst Macho Man Randy Savage impersonations while we read them.
Oh, yeah.
That's like 80% Randy Savage, 20% Otis. Yeah.
Macho.
Oh, yeah, Tucky.
now you're just being Otis.
Yeah, I know. All right.
And to finish off the episode, this is technically a new segment, but it's something that I just wanted us to do. I'm not going to deep dive into it, but I figured that each week we would give a recommendation to the audience, to the listeners and watchers of a match that we think they should go and watch. And we'll go back and forth each week. So since I brought forward the challenge for today, I'm asking you, Anthony, what is a match that you would recommend people go and watch?
This may be a very mainstream choice, but I think our viewers and listeners, if they have the resources to watch NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, Johnny Gargano versus Andrade Cien Almas. Yeah, that is such a fantastic match. Andrade and Gargano. It was Andrade is a champion at the time, and Johnny Gargano is a babyface. He's the hero, the person we want to win.
Yeah, that was when everyone thought that Johnny would win. Yeah. I remember that match. Andrade was such a good champion in NXT.
Yeah. And does he win? Well,
you'll have to watch.
You'll have to find out.
You have to go and watch it.
You'll have to watch one of the first matches in WWE rated 5 stars by Big Money Melts.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, there you go. There's your homework. There's your homework. Go and watch that match. Let us know of any matches that you think are 5 stars that we should watch. But yeah, we'll be giving you our recommendations each week for something that we think that you should go watch. Check out clips on YouTube, and if you have the ability to watch the whole match, do it. But thank you so much for listening or watching. You can find me online on Twitter and Instagram at Barton_Minute. And you can follow Mr. Anthony Hall
at Hall and Jokes on Twitter and Instagram.
And of course, you can follow Unknown Error Films everywhere just by searching Unknown Error Films, or looking up on Twitter and Instagram at UE_films. This has been Book It, Vince. We had a great episode of Alexa Bliss versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, DVD, Blu-ray,
DMD,
HDMI.
DDS, DVP, VIP.
Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe to the podcast. Go watch some wrestling. Be safe out there. We love you, and we'll catch you next time.